Good morning, how you doing? Yeah, really, really good, really good. It's a lovely day in Brighton. How's it all going there? Oh no. I mean, the thing with this is you've got options. You know, your options are you really go for it and get a band and do the band thing. You keep it so that you are putting a band together, but it's more about you and you're in control and you're putting out content in whatever way you see fit. The only option that you don't have is to not do anything, because that wastes time. Because I don't know how much time you've got left on your course. If it's is it a 3-year course or? One thing I was going to say to you is we talked a little bit about sort of getting content out and releases, and musicians in general are very obsessed with a release. But one thing I would say is once you've got a piece of content that you really love, like I would say, you know, a song that you finished that you're really happy with, I would say do a 30-day plan for leading up to that release, or you know, that track that you're going to put out, and then a 30-day afterwards. So you've got a 60-day plan. And your 30-day lead up is basically saying this is the date it's going to come out. You know that's the date it's going to come out. And so what you're doing is every single day you're doing something to engage people for that date. You know, whether it's you've got gigs coming up, you're trying to get on radio play, or whether you're doing blogs, or whether you're doing like acoustic versions like you said about before, you know, talking to people, anything like that. And then as soon as it drops, as soon as you actually got that release coming out, then you've got 30 days after that to actually go and do the opposite thing, which is to say, now it's out, you need to buy it. So I'm not telling you it's going to come out, I'm saying I need you to go and buy it. So and over that 60 days, because you're condensing it into just those 60 days for a track, for example, it would be a really good way of finding out and experimenting who's with you, who's not with you, you know, who's buying into this project, who's, you know, maybe bought the single, or who's sharing it and that kind of stuff. And it'll give you a really good insight in those 60 days and allow you to experiment with content that's going to work, whether an acoustic thing works, whether it doesn't, and it condenses it all down into that 60 days. And I think that'll be a really good way of you to experiment with your content and test your content, and at the same point build your followers and see who's with you, who's not with you, and then it allows you to do it again sort of a bit later down the line. Make sure you diarise it or you calendar it beforehand. So give yourself a little bit of a lead up into it, so that you can plan a bunch of shit that you can do, so that you've got it written down. So you just go, day 1 I'm going to do this, day 2 I'm going to do this, day 3 I'm going to do this, so that you're not waking up and going, what shall I do today to promote my EP? Because that's at the point where the momentum starts to fall, and that's what bands do. So many bands go, I've made this EP, I'm not really sure what to do with it, I'll release it. And what they basically mean is I'll put it out there to the world and hope people buy it. And then they start going, well, what can I do to sell it? There's no plan, there's no strategy, and there's no time frame. And I feel like that is where it all falls down. Whereas if you give yourself those deadlines, the panic sets in. You've only got 30 days, or you've only got 60 days to do that, and then I'm going to move on to the next thing. Once you've done your 60 days, you can still sell it, but at the same point the momentum's starting to go. People, like you said, at that college where that band is starting to push too much, people are like, all right, yeah, I get the picture, I get it. So that's when something new needs to come out. So you get this window of opportunity, and I feel like that is the perfect time of it. And then after that, it's like, right, what's next? Next EP or next single or whatever it is, and you just keep doing that. You can do that for a good period of time and keep your fan base engaged with it, whilst you're still doing content online for, you know, acoustic videos, live videos, gigs, all that kind of stuff, and keep commentating on your journey of what you're doing. You know, if you're on radio, then not only have you got the radio interview, but you've got the lead up to the radio interview, all that kind of stuff. But everything is pushing that date. That's the date I'm going to work with, and then you've got the 30 days afterwards. I think that will be really good for you.